I had to get it on camera. Got to get it rolling.
Yes, I learned F11.
So I guess today's tip of the day is Windows hotkeys. Learn them. They can be your friend.
Yeah. And welcome beyond the streams. This is probably the only place you're going to see Next Levels and Rohas shenanigans. So make sure you guys are following us, subscribing us, and wherever you are listening to this, either within the podcast or the live streaming. And yes, it's going to be in 2 different platforms. Make sure you guys do check the description below. How are we doing today, man?
I think we're doing pretty good. A slow start to my morning. I had some guy really bothering me to get to work. Besides that, we're doing pretty good. We have some good content, some good articles out that are up for debate today.
Yeah, for sure. What do we got going on?
Well, I've been really interested in the new Beelink. Have you checked out that article?
Not really. Let's go ahead and pull it up real quick. I know you mentioned something about the new Beelink, and then you can ask a question.
Look at that. Tell me that doesn't look crazy. I think that looks pretty crazy.
What the hell is in this thing? $250.
Yeah.
Shipping.
So right there in the title, look, it's a dual HDD, dual hard drive, NOS Android TV box that's running hi-fi audio.
The only one that's running this is, what do we say, the NVIDIA?
NVIDIA is the only real Android box that people are using as like a Plex server. But I think that they want to go direct competition in regards to Plex. In my opinion, that's the first thing that I thought about when I saw this. I said dual two 3.5-inch SATA drives. I mean, look right here. Think about it. I mean, I have one right here. It's a 14 terabyte. You could have 28 terabytes. I'm the largest hard drive. I mean, retail hard drive that you have right now is 16 terabytes. You could put 32 terabytes in an Android box and run a Plex server off of it.
Holy crap.
Like, that's pretty insane.
So just looking at the article, so that way the viewers can know what we're talking about. This is the Beelink GS King X. It's an Android 9 TV box and a NOS with 2 3.5 SATA bays powered by Amlogic S922's X-H. Processor combined with 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of eMMC flash. It was unveiled last month with some blurry renders. We have the details about the device, which started to sell about $249.99 plus shipping on Geek Buying when used as a fixed price coupon in case, and the coupon code is 4ATA OT06. Now, I think those are O's. They could be zeros, but I'm pretty sure they could be zeros. But if they're not O's, they're zeros. So check that out. The specifications on this thing is, it has the Amlogic chip, the S922XH hexa-core.
Yeah, and that's the top of the line S922X chipset.
Man, and the processor says little processors with 4 ARM Cortex A73 cores up to 2.2 gigahertz, 2X ARM Cortex A53 cores at 1.8 gigahertz.
Oh, look, it says it right there. The storage, it has 64 built in, and then it says that it can actually accept up to 32 terabytes right there.
Jeez. So with because I know a lot of people running these Plex servers, they put a lot of the 4K content out there.
Yeah.
How much 4K can they? How much 4K videos can they actually put in there before they're tapped?
Good question. 4K. I mean, you have 4K video files that can range anywhere from like 12 to 15 gigabytes all the way up to 80, 90. It all depends on what encoding that they're grabbing and what kind they want. So, man,
that's pretty big.
You could fit a lot.
Yeah,
definitely. But I mean, it'll be pretty crazy to max a device like this out, because a device costs you 250 USD, and then you're buying, how much did your 16 terabyte hard drive cost you?
Oh
Like
man,
six?
I think it was about $600.
Yeah, so then $1,200 for the hard drives, and then another 250 for this. You would not have an Android box that's going to top that price.
Yeah. Now, when we're looking at some of the audio, I know some of the audio is very important here. It does have the, let's see, it says DTS listen plus Dolby audio.
Dolby, yeah, this is
I love Dolby. Once I see DTS and Dolby, I'm just like, I'm gonna be in a world. I'm gonna be lost in this audio world already because it's so nice how they could just immerse you into this. So it's really,
it's got
really
the optical out, which is really good for something like this. Some of the things that I'm noticing when I'm looking at the specs here is the DDR4 RAM, right? It's got the gigabit LAN port, and then the other thing that I thought was pretty cool. Well, obviously, if you like RGB and stuff like that, the eyes on the box actually go from green to blue, which is just like the GT Beelink King boxes. And the last thing that I really liked on this was obviously the dual MIMO Wi-Fi. So it's going to have really, really good Wi-Fi on this box. No matter where you put it, it's going to connect. It's going to be really good. This is, oh man, do you see the back of this box?
Jeez,
that's insane.
The back of this box, it's got HDD1, HDD2. You got the hi-fi sound port. You got a left RCA output in the right, and then you got your balance output left and right. You got your DC, AV, HDMI. It looks like two USBs that are 3.0 SPDIF plus the landline.
This box is sexy. And I'm looking at it, every single picture, it was so well thought out. Like this reminds me of like a high end receiver that we would have back in the day. But every single USB port on this thing is USB 3.0. Every single one. There's 4 of them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then just looking at the front, look how easy it is just to slide them in and out.
See, that's built like a NOS device.
Yeah.
That's how a NOS device would be. They're hot swappable drives.
So definitely people with running Plex, if they want to run their own Plex, this is something that it'll just be a beast. Now, how do you think this compares to NVIDIA?
It's really interesting, and I think that it's really smart the way that they went. When Beelink first came out with their GT King box, everybody was like, this is an NVIDIA Shield killer. And it's like comparing apples to oranges. We talked about it on some of our previous live streams, where we talk about, if you're looking to kill the NVIDIA Shield, what are you looking to kill it for? You know what I mean? Like, what don't you like about it that you're trying to beat it with another device? Beelink is very, very smart. They came out with this very powerful device, but they're not trying to say that it's better at gaming than the NVIDIA Shield. They noticed that a lot of people in the streaming community are using it for multi-purpose. And one of the main multi-purpose reasons is for running a Plex server. So this is a NVIDIA Shield killer when it comes to running a Plex server. And I think that's really smart because, as we talked about previously, it's been really interesting what's happening with gaming in the NVIDIA Shield. I mean, depending on which NVIDIA Shield you get, you're not really meant to be gaming on it. And then, certain developers have been dropping off of their platform. So I think that it's really smart that the Beelink is not trying to compete with that dicey waters of the gaming world.
Yeah. Oh, which is great, because I know people, a lot of people like to compare, like, is this better than that? Is this better than the Shield, or can this beat the Shield? Or
I want this.
It's kind of like when you see stuff like this, you got to see it. Is it going to take care of your needs? I know people running Plex, they're always looking for something that you could just pull out the driver out instantly and swap it out for another one if something goes bad. Or so something like this is. It's a man. When I saw that, what is it? 32 terabytes storage in total.
That's nuts. But like, okay, so in my PC actually is in a case that looks like this, right? It's called the Node 304. So it's built like a cube like this, and it has 4 hard drives in it already, and I have 2 10 terabytes and 2 14 terabytes in it.
Jeez.
But I want to upgrade those to 16s, right?
Yeah.
So what could I do? I take the 10 terabytes out and then I put them in this box. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then no matter where you go or where you put this device, if you have internet or not, you have access to 4K content. What's buffering? You're not going to get buffering when it's playing off of a local hard drive running that what is it, 1.8 gigahertz processor? You're not going to get buffering. Hell no. You want to eliminate buffering? This is how you eliminate buffering.
What about people who are let's just say you're sharing this with me and you're like, hey, I want you to check out this thing that I have here, and my internet's slow. I'm paying for 40 megabytes download speeds, and because I'm cheap, I don't want to spend too much money. I know nowadays,
hey, 40 is not bad, man.
It's not bad, but if you got a 4K link in there,
yeah, you might have some issues depending on who's bottlenecking your network. But you imagine me and you both had this device, and I just dropped off a hard drive, and I gave you. Oh, well, I don't want to say that I just gave you all the newest content, but I mean that's how easy it really is. Back in the day, people would. Well, I mean, even still, people swap like SD cards and USB thumb drives. Yeah. But if you really want to be transferring 4K files, this is crazy.
So it's of course we always say, like, you got to make sure your own stuff in your home is good. We talked about having some Nighthawks for your modem and routers. I know TP-Link does some good stuff. The Google On Hub's got some good stuff. So you got to make sure like your own stuff is really good. And if you are checking your speeds, and if you have like, if you pay for 100 megabytes download speed, which is almost like the norm nowadays, you hear a lot of people saying 100 megabytes is what I have, which is great. And if that's your norm, then yeah, you shouldn't have any issues. Like at that point, I would just, if I were to buffer with this thing, if you shared me your server where I was able to view your stuff, and I was getting some buffer experience on my end and I was having issues, that would the first thing I would probably do is check my speed test to see what's happening on my
I was just reading the rest of this article. Do you know what else they did? It's a dual boot system. The NOS portion of this device is actually running off an 8 gig micro SD card that's preloaded.
The device ships with a 2.4 gigahertz voice remote control, and HDMI cable, HDD brackets, a power adapter, and a user manual in English. The $250 price tag seems quite high at a first sight, but it's actually a 3-in-1 system with Android 9 TV box, a NOS supporting for up to 32 terabytes, and a hi-fi sound system, so the price may be okay after all. They also offer an 8 gigabyte micro SD card preloaded with Core ELEC right now, so it's a dual boot system. I wish they had provided more details about the NOS functions, but it's probably basic and fully handled from within Android with options for network shares, not much else.
I mean, what else do you need though?
Yeah, what else would you need? This thing has everything beyond of what you're going to ask for. If you got your own setup at the house and
crazy.
You have everything in there, this thing is just a beast of a device, big time.
I would buy that for $250. I mean, what is the NVIDIA Shield Pro go for in the States right now? $250?
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
I think it's about $250.
NVIDIA Shield Pro 260. Yeah, it's a little bit over $250.
Yeah, so this is coming with 4 gigs of RAM. NVIDIA Shield is coming with 3 gigs of RAM, and this is coming with 64 gigs plus 8 gigs of onboard storage. It's coming with crazy sound. It's coming with 4 USB 3.0 ports. It's coming with that gigabyte LAN. It's coming with that 2 bays of swappable hard drives. So, I mean, yes, you're going to get a better GPU, but you're getting better sound. You're getting better I/O. You're getting a lot better I/O. I mean, I/O is going right to 2 swappable bays. So, I mean, to me, this is a better value.
Yeah,
But it all depends on what you're looking to do, I guess.
it does.
Like I said, if you want to be a gamer and you want to fight with whatever's going on, in the gaming community with the NVIDIA Shield, or if you are a huge Android TV OS fan, then you're going to go with the Shield, right? I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. And the gaming part, it's kind of like, I know I've said this multiple times. The NVIDIA Shield is it does have, well, it did have that really good gaming platform where there's a lot of things that you can get off of gaming, but they're losing so many people. Like little by little, they're starting to trickle off, and they're almost losing that. Like, yes, they have that Tegra, and they have everything that you would need with gaming, but as they're losing some of that stuff, it almost loses the spark. It becomes it's almost like I always say, when you have a a PlayStation or an Xbox, you don't buy it to watch movies. You don't buy a PlayStation or Xbox to make it a DVD player. You buy it for gaming. And with the Shield, it does do the gaming, but the specs, the specs on where it's going for, and how they're losing all, it's like some of those the on the gaming platform, it's turning into more of a streaming device versus streaming slash gaming. And they're calling it now the NVIDIA Shield TV Pro. I think what we can do is this is a really good spot to end the show for today, because we've talked everything about this thing, and there's going to be some good stuff coming up with PlayStation 5. I'm excited for it because they're always trying to push the envelope. I think the only time they've ever failed me is PS3, and mainly because they were just pushing out, like, PS3 came out, but there's so many games still coming out for PS2. So
okay, but you gotta keep it for the show, bro.
I'm gonna keep it for the show.
You gotta keep it for the show.
And we're gonna be talking about as soon as that airs and we get all the information. Stay tuned for the next episode. I don't know. What do you think, Next Level? I know you're more Xbox.
I'm more Xbox, but to be honest, I haven't really been a huge gamer ever since I hung up my headset and passed it over to my son a little while ago. I think that there is some crazy competition coming out in regards to all the different platforms when it comes to gaming, and I think that they're trying to up the envelope and not just make it about gaming anymore. Like, I know with my Xbox, I can actually sync it with my Alexa and have Alexa like do some commands with my Xbox. It's interesting, right? So we have devices that are really trying to test the limits of what they're categorized as. So, for instance, the Beelink is testing the limit as, am I an Android box or am I a NOS device? Right? So I think it's going to be really interesting when we see new technology come out, because they don't want to be put in a box anymore. I mean, it sounds funny because we unbox everything, but they don't want to be put into the box. They want to be outside the box. They want to be something different. They want to be something more. They're like, we're so powerful, we can do much more than we've ever done before. So we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited no matter what.
So stay tuned to our next episode. We're going to be touching on that. It's going to be pretty good. I want to see everything that PlayStation is going to be offering, and it's big right now with everything that's happening in the world, and they're pushing their announcement. It's going to be big. I don't want to say too much, but we'll save it for the next episode.
Just one thing before we go, just something for everybody to think about. I think in this day and age, right now, we have more people that are working from home. So with more people spending time at home, there's more devices that are coming out now that are going to be geared towards that at-home life. And building up that smart home, building up that entertainment, building up that whole home man cave, whatever you want to call it. And I think people are going to be investing more and more in that whole home experience. And I think the upcoming devices like the Xboxes, the PlayStations, the Beelinks, they see that and they're ready for it and they're coming. They're meeting us at home.
For sure. It's the home entertainment is so important for a lot of people, especially right now. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this one from Beyond the Streams. As we always say, you guys take care of each other.
Stay humble and be patient with one another.
And we'll see you guys on the next video.
Peace.